mute everything, sign on so that everything's available, and I think we are good. So, make sure that everything's sent out, got the Twitter sent out, and we should be good. Alright, so, hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is Saturday. It is October 14th, and this is the October 14th TextQuest Devstream. Today we are going to be picking up our custom game interaction stuff. Specifically, I would like to get the actual workflow for saving and loading objects for each room, as well as, let's see here. Let's go to extras, author mode, create, Zork, as well as editing objects. So let's go to room 2. We go to interactions. We don't have anything saved in here. We can add interactions, and if I want to name it, let's go ahead and call this test object. Forgot I can't do spaces, which is somewhat annoying actually. I need to be able to support that. In any case, let's go ahead and remove item. So we can adjust a variety of things. We can adjust description, we can adjust the names, the adjectives used to describe it. You can see that we have basic overview, which does not actually change. That's kind of funny. It doesn't actually change the name, and if I rename the first one in here. Okay, that's good to know. And then if we close this, you can see that it's here. Again, it has not actually refreshed its name. That is something we'll have to fix. But we have this, but I can't actually click on it, and that's because this object, while it has been created, it's essentially just been lost now. I don't have any reference to it. It's not really part of any room. It just merely exists. So we're going to get to a point today, hopefully, where I can save object interactions out, load them in, and make sure that they are assigned to rooms. Now, this is going to get somewhat difficult because there are a lot of things that this could do, or that we could do to try and make it work. For example, there are two major structures. One is that whenever you add an interaction, all of its information is just stored with the room itself. But that's not necessarily a good idea. Because what if we have one object that we actually want to share across a bunch of different rooms? Think like an apple, which might be in multiple places. It would suck to have to code that or set that up 3 different times. Instead, it would be much better to so when we click add interaction, actually show a list of existing interactions, and then maybe a button that says new interaction if we don't already have one. So, oh man, this is going to be so tough long term to try and smooth this out. But for now, we're not going to worry about context or anything like that. We just want to get saving and loading objects and editing them, basically. All right, so I'm going to go to zork.ctba. This is our CTBA custom text-based adventure file. It has all of the information that the Zork game has in it as of right now. You can see that we have variables, we have various settings, we have rooms and their nodes, stuff like that. But we are also going to need, you can see here that we have interactions. Wait a second. Interactions 0. It's probably using the interaction. Okay. I'm guessing that. So it is saving an int value, but I don't think we're saving interactions out anywhere, are we? I didn't think we got that far. Yeah. That's curious. We have an interactions field, but it's just got a 0 in there. That's kind of awkward. Well, in any case, so CG interaction view. We're also going to need custom room view. Let's see. It's going to be here. So let's see, we have custom room interaction menu. Let's go ahead and get that. Geez. Yeah, so we have an add interaction button, which should probably pull up an add interaction modal, which then itself would, oh geez, nested modals. Sorry, I'm currently trying to figure out how we would want to do this. Let's see here. It's not really a modal, it's more like a wizard. But in any case, let's go ahead and say interaction buttons. We have generate interactions, which pulls from our current room of interactions. Right. Interactions, which is int based. That's correct. It would use the ID, and then right. Okay, good. So I was actually never mind. So I don't have to worry about it. There is only one way that we're going to approach this, and that is a global list of interaction data, and then each interaction has a very specific ID associated with it, and then we can populate that ID across multiple spaces if necessary. Now, God, eventually we're going to need some sort of like create new from, so you could create a new interaction from an existing interaction that basically duplicate that interaction and then allow you to edit it. And that's for minor things. Like if you had an apple and you didn't actually care what that apple was, you just knew that there was an apple in a scene, and you wanted multiple apples across multiple scenes, but they were just the same apple basically, then you wouldn't need to duplicate that. You just have one thing. But if you have something special like a golden apple and then a green apple and then a red apple, but they all are basically the same except for minor differences, it would be nice to be able to make minor permutations from that instead of having to completely regenerate it from scratch. That would be a nice feature. Okay. So, bleh. Right. Let's go ahead and open this up. Take a look at our root. Right. So we have quite a few things to do here. One is to open up our CG interaction view. Good. I do a callback. That's good. Okay, I was a little worried about that. All right. So on callback. You know what, I think on callback it's going to give me a interactive object. Mostly so that I can pass back information fairly easily. I don't want to have to like get an empty callback, then look through my author session to get an interaction based off an ID that I would have had to have cached, basically. Let's see, target object. Yep. Well, then again, I guess. It's a little clunky. But let's see where this is called. Alright. Alright, never mind then, because my callback is used to refresh a list, which makes that kind of pointless. Alright. Save that out, and we're going to have a couple of things, aren't we? Yep. Alright, let's go to our CG interaction info menu. I'm going to take kind of like a multi-pronged approach today. I have a lot of things that I'm going to try to fix all at once, so forgive me if it kind of seems like I'm jumping around. But, for example, the thing I'm going to do right now is make it so that when we edit our names, the first name, if the first name is edited, we need to refresh the name of the object. So let's go ahead and go up here. We're going to say public delegate void on info event public delegate void on interaction name changed is equal delegate. Oh, and I'm sorry, this should be public event. There we go, info event. That's all good. And let's see here. Refresh info on name added, on name edited. I suppose I should say if current name, I'm sorry, no. If index is equal to 0, oops, on interaction name changed, okay. And we're going to come back to CG interaction view, and in awake, we are going to say info menu dot on name change plus equals, we'll say null for now. I know it's not going to like that, but we will change that in a second. So we're going to say private void on interaction name changed. Let's go ahead and set that. And we are going to say object name label dot text is equal to where do I actually set that? Surely I do. There you go. So we'll say target object dot name. Name. There we go. And here's the kicker. Yep, that sucks so hard. So what I'm doing here is normally an object's name is not going to change ever, but so what I do is basically when you try to get an object's name, I essentially cache the name in a string. That way I don't have to constantly make the string concatenation. But the problem is that if I do it that way, then I have to manually reset the object name in custom game interactions, because otherwise that name will never update. So what to do about this? So where is refresh interaction? Info called. Just on open. Okay. Well, in any case, so that means I need to go to interactive object. And we have some wonderful problems that we're going to have to try to figure out. Geez, that is really brutal, and I don't really want to have a bunch of functions that I have to set up just for custom game interactions, but I guess I kind of have to, don't I? All right. So let's go ahead and say public void refresh, or no, reset object. We'll say reset name. Yeah. All right. And all that's going to be is just this. Object name is equal to nothing, and object name.lowered is equal to nothing. So let's go ahead and come back here. And on interaction name changed, we are going to go ahead and, oh crud, that is not great. I guess we'll do this then. Current interaction dot reset name. All right. So if we let that compile, when we play now, we should actually be able to see the object name update live. So we can make those changes and it'll instantly be reflected. Turn off our UI. So the next thing, cut off for like a whole 10 seconds. So we'll keep an eye on my guy to see if he breaks. He did. Hooray! All right, give me a second. Wow. It crashed. That's impressive. All right. Oh, and I probably also should do coding. Yes. I think that's fair. Oh, and before I forget, okay, making sure that my stream didn't mute itself somehow. All right, so we're going to go to extras, author mode, create, Zork, map, go to room 2, interactions. Again, nothing gets saved, so we don't worry about that. Okay, object. Let's go to object, rename this to test object. Hooray, it updates. We go to overview, we get test object, import object info. It's type basic, description, custom, or test custom object. That's all fine. Let's go back to info, and I'm curious as to what's going to happen here. Yes. Okay. So we need to have that function too. If we delete a name and it's the first name, then we need to make sure that we refresh the names again. So let's go ahead and stop playing. On name deleted. I suppose we'll go ahead and again say if index 0 is equal to that. That's a good question. If you delete everything except the last name, well, no, if you delete the last name that you have in your list of names, it probably should spawn in a default one. Probably. Otherwise, that could get kind of weird. So, actually, you know what probably should happen is when we delete a name. Let's see. Do we have? Right. So let's go to definition here. Or not that. Sorry. So I'm going to actually probably end up adding some extra functionality to our CG element input area here, in the sense that I need to have a little bool. Let's see. Should I do it at the top? I typically like to do controls at the top. So we'll say public bool can be empty is equal to true, and if that is false, then we are going to do some things. Basically, for things like names, you should never not have a name. So the functionality would be once you delete all except for one name, you can't actually delete that last name or that last field in this particular thing. But this is shared. This class is shared between names and adjectives currently, and it'll probably be shared with a couple of other things. So I need to allow some things to be empty, but I need to also disallow being empty for other things. So should the user be able to delete all elements if false will not the last existing element. All right. So let's see. Input field element prefab. Let's go to this definition. I probably am going to need an activate and a deactivate button, I think. So, all right. Deactivated colors or active colors? That's a little. Active colors. New color block. Let's go ahead and grab this. Inactive colors equal to new color block. You know, I don't remember if. Nope, I don't think I do. That's a shame. don't think I ever actually made a drop down to contain multiple objects, but that might be a little fun scripting exercise for us to start with. Well, not start, to do, I suppose. In any case, let's see on input, blah, blah, blah. Here we are. So we're going to say public void deactivate delete, and then public void activate delete. All right, let's see. So for deactivate delete, we are going to say delete button dot interactable is equal to false. I guess that's also true. I don't really need these. Let's see, is equal to true. So simple as that. Let's go ahead and let's see, CG input element area on add clicked. Trying to think the best way to make sure that I enable or disable input area elements as conveniently as possible. So let's see here. Refresh elements. Does that always get called after everything? No. Suppose that's fair. Yeah, because refresh recycles them, instantiates them again, and that's not always a thing that needs to happen. So, let's see. How about clear elements? There we are. So let's go ahead and say private void set deletes. And hold on element edited, on element deleted. So we're going to say if, what did I call it? Allow empty, can be empty. That's a super great name. Set deletes. We'll also do the same thing for, let's see, on add clicked. Excuse me. That one snuck up on me. All right, so for this, we're just going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than, what did I call it? Elements. Yep. Elements dot count I plus plus, and all we're going to say is if elements of I dot count. Okay, sorry, did that wrong. Dot count is greater than 1. Else, right, we're going to say elements of I dot set deactivate delete. Otherwise, we are going to say elements dot or of I dot activate. There. Jeez, kept typing it and then not clicking on it. And since this is short, we can actually shorten these two to just 2 lines. Much better. All right. So I suppose we should, after refresh elements, we should call set elements delete or set elements deletes. And I guess we will also say in set element deletes, we will say if it's greater than 1 or can be empty. And also we want to say if not can be empty on the other things. All right. So that should be good. Should solve that little issue. This is going to be interesting. So let's test that again. So now when we delete the name, if we delete the first name, it should auto refresh and grab the new first name and then reflect that in the label. And as well, let's see, I'm going to revert these changes. Let's go to info and names. Names cannot be empty. Let's go ahead and apply these changes. All right, now we're ready to try again. So now all of that should basically be how I've been talking about it. So adjectives can be entirely stripped away if desired. Names must always have at least one element. And if the first name is deleted, then the second one will become the new first name, and it will be updated. The object will be updated to reflect that name. Author mode, create, Zork, map, room 2, interactions, add interaction, info, okay, there it is. Notice that we can't click on delete anymore. Let's go ahead and, oh right, I was gonna say, it didn't work. But let's add a new name, call it test object, we'll hit add. All right, but then, yeah, that happened. That's not great. Oh, crud, okay, yeah, I know what happened there. Let's see here, input area. Wait. Oh, hold on. Do I not ever actually add this? Oh my goodness, I don't. Ha! Ha ha. That's funny. I never actually add that element to the list. Oops. Well, that's embarrassing. Okay. So we're going to say at the end here, I guess. That's used in... Okay, that's pretty funny. So yeah, we're going to say elements.add element. That would be why that didn't refresh. Or rather, it did technically refresh, but since it didn't add the new element, we were still at 1. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's see. What else can we fix while we're in here? That's pretty much good. Let's give it another test run, though. If it will let me. Let's see. Need a drink. Okay. Start. Extras, author mode, create, Zork. Map. Interactions. Add interactions. Okay, so delete that. That's item. Let's add test. Oops. Object. Add. There we go. Let's go ahead and delete this. Good. We're up to test object again. Ooh, that's interesting. Huh. Oh, that's... Wait. I wonder. Hold on. Let's see here. Let's see. Input. Deleted. Oh, yep, I bet. Hold on. Where are you? No, this isn't right. No. It's because here. No, that also doesn't make sense. Do I not remove it? No, I do on element deleted. Huh. Then what's happening here? this is odd. Let's see here. Refresh elements. Elements. Deletes. Go back to infraction info. Let's see. On name edited. This is called from element edited. Back over here on element edited. Oh wait. Yeah, right there. Huh. Why are you different? That's interesting. Alright. So let's go ahead and add a debug here, debug.log. We're going to say this, essentially. And I suppose as a safety measure, I will go ahead and also do this. Let's see, and that means that I'm going to want to check this. So I want to know why index, or why it thinks that index is equal to 0, or is not equal to 0 when it should be. That's kind of odd. All right. I also got a little sidetracked for a second there. I was trying to think of the custom property drawer stuff that we were talking about for a little bit, but then I don't really need to do that anymore. I was going to write a property drawer to allow me to basically group things under a single drop-down, but Start. Let's see here. Extras, author mode, create, Zork. Go to map, 2, interactions, add interaction, info, and okay, so now if I edit this, okay, so you worked. It must not be adding the interaction or the edited stuff. Let's see here. On element deleted. Yep. There it is. I am not. Wow. I just did not set anything up correctly, apparently. All right. So let's see here. After all that, we're going to want to say element dot, let's see, what is it? On edit plus equals on element edited, then element dot on delete plus equal on element deleted. Okay. So now hopefully that will solve our oddities. I don't think there's anything else that's really missing. So yeah, on delete we're cleaning them up. That's good. Yeah, it should be good. We'll let that compile. And I will also make sure that my Twitch stream is not muted because I'm paranoid now. So, all right, it's compiled. Let's go ahead and play. See what this looks like. Start, extras, author mode, create, Zork. Let's go to map, room, interactions, add interaction, info, delete you. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and say test object, add that, delete you. Okay, so we have test objects. There we go. Cool. Now that's working. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. So we have object naming correct, or behaving a little bit more understandably now. Let's go ahead and also try red for adjective, and then, yep, make sure that I can delete it, which I can. That's good. All right. So now that names are working a little bit more easily, I suppose the next thing is, well, there are two things. One, we could do verbs, which is going to be a total nightmare, and I really, really don't actually want to do that. Or I can work on saving, and I think saving will be the more appropriate thing to do. Although, actually, for those tabs, I might end up changing how this works a little bit. So currently, you can see that it hovers a color when you select it, but what I would like to have happen is when it's selected, it should be lit up, and then when you hover over it, it should also change to a specific color. But that is something we're going to need separate colors for, so we actually are going to draw our property drawer that I was talking about. So let's stop playing. Let's go down to, don't need verbs, all this stuff's fixed now. Excuse me. All right, let that compile, and then we have to wait for Unity to finish stopping playing, I guess. Because reasons. But in any case, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and write a quick property drawer to basically allow me to group things under a dropdown pretty easily. So let's go ahead, go up here, scroll up, collapse some things that we don't need. Well, I say that, but Unity just finished compiling, so now it's going to freeze for about 5 seconds, and then I'll be able to actually do stuff. Let's go ahead and get rid of you, and here we are. Let's see, attributes, drop down. Oh, I do have a drop down property. Really? Does it actually do what it should do? No, surely not. Let's find out. Let's see. CG interaction info menu. No. It is here. CG interaction view. Cool. Here we are. Info button. Let's, I guess, just test this out. So we're going to say public color block. We'll say info active color is equal to new color block. And we'll give it a drop down. Cool. So let's see if that actually worked. I was going to say, I thought I remember writing this script, but I wasn't sure if it was something that I wrote for work or if I wrote it for TextQuest. But we'll find out. So it should pop up here as soon as it compiles. Hooray! Well, that's very convenient. That makes my life a lot easier. So let's see here. We're going to need a couple of different color blocks here. Let's go ahead and take this, and we'll just duplicate this a couple of times. So we're going to need overview active colors. We will also need verbs active colors. And then close does not need an active color because that can't be a thing. But we do need a default colors for when the buttons are not active, basically. So that all compile. That way it all shows up over here. And let's see. I guess we'll want to look at the actual stuff that I have right now. See what those buttons are doing. All right. I'm willing it to compile faster, and it did. Aha. So let's see. Let's take our overview button. Grab this so we have black. This color for our highlighted color. Let's see. So black with full transparency. Paste that in as that. And just grabbing our colors here so that we have some consistency. Makes it a lot easier to work with. Let's see here. Grab this. And one color multiplier, 0.2 fade duration. That's good. Okay, so 1 and 0.2. Sweet. So that's our overview. Oh, wait, no, that's... Ah, dang it. Whatever. At the very least, I can fortunately copy all of this. Although I do wish that I didn't have to manually adjust all of this alpha. I guess actually I can just copy this, can't I? This is where an array would be more convenient, except that they're not really related to one another, so it doesn't make sense for them to be in an array. Let's see. Alright, so now I can just Copy all the colors that I need. All right, so that's our default button color. I actually wonder if I should have the background. Yeah, it's probably fine. So that's our default colors. That means that our active colors are going to be somewhat different. Let me go ahead and paste in the grays here for the inactives, though. Not that it matters. We're never going to use inactives for these buttons. But all right, go ahead and slide up all of our alphas. I think I'm going to use different colors for each one when they're active, so like an RGB thing. Let's see. Slide this over all the way. Slide that, and kapow. Hello, Movecraft pirates. Welcome to the Devstream. How are you doing today? All right, so we actually want to change these to be somewhat. I guess we'll have duplicates for a second, and then we'll adjust the. Ow, dang it! I hate it when I do that. So we'll have duplicates to start off, and then we'll actually make it our own colors in a second. All right. So this is going to be a little different in the sense that when they're active, I want them to have. You know what? They can have the same color. Should I make it blue or green? I guess they all hover green, so some form of green would be nice for an active color. And if that's the case, that actually means that I can get rid of 2 of these and just have a default active color. So, the worst part about this is that when I replace this, it's going to get rid of all of it. I call this active colors. Means that's going to reset that, and I'm going to have to redo it. Sadness. But they're all going to share one thing, so. All right, just had my own live stream. That's cool. Restream. Oh, I assume you were streaming development on something, if you happen to mention it here. Well, maybe not. You might have been in entertainment. What were you streaming? Just looking at other people's live streams and looking where I can improve myself. Well, you've come to the wrong place for that. Well, hopefully you'll be able to get something from me, but far and away, I'm definitely not the best dev streamer out there. Or out here, I guess. I try, but I know that I don't have the razzle-dazzle that a lot of other people have. In any case, let's go ahead and duplicate this. But yeah, if you don't mind me asking, making games, so that's what you were streaming? Well, I started yesterday. Well then, who knows? Maybe you can learn something from me. I've been streaming for a while, but I still feel like there's a lot that I'm not doing quite right. What kind of game are you making? Got 11 followers in 2 days? Well, you're already rising way above me. I don't think I've gotten 11 followers in 2 days before. I've gotten... I don't know what the highest I've ever gotten in a short amount of time. It might have been double digits in like a day. But that was a very rare thing, and I honestly don't know how many followed just to follow versus how many followed out of interest. In any case, so let's change our normal color from black to a highlight color. So we're going to go for something like this, but actually, you know what? Let's make it like the highlight color, but a little darker. Or perhaps a little, yeah, like that. Like it's a more green color. So subtle differences, but that should all work. All right. A game like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds plus a hacking game. And something that you can do is have music. Yeah, that's true. The only reason that I don't do music is because I feel like that would mean that when I archive this stuff on YouTube, I would just get ads thrown on there, and I really don't want ads thrown on my game, on my videos. Especially because, I wouldn't make the money from those ads. They would be going to whoever made the music. But I do actually do a sort of music chill stream on Sundays sometimes. So those ones I don't put up on YouTube for archive purposes. I just sort of do freeform stuff. But yeah, I have grappled with music in the past, debating whether or not it's worth it. But since I try to archive all of this, I think it's better not to have it. Which kind of does suck. In any case, let's see. So yeah, we have to set our interaction colors whenever we do stuff. Let's see, so refresh interactions. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of awkward now, isn't it? Ah, here we are. Wait, what? Hold on, this is weird. Okay, there we go. I already get ads, and first did not even use music. Aha! Thank you for subscribing, or not subscribing. That's not what it's called. Thank you for following. And that right there is actually something that I know I need to improve on. Oh my god, it actually worked! Ha! That's like the first time I think I've ever actually seen that. Huh. So it does actually work in the streams. That's good to know. Like, I've had the sound effect on there for a while, but I've never actually seen the GIF. So that's super exciting. For some reason, it just never seemed to show up for me. But yay, now that it is, that's super exciting. Well, fine. If you want to rub it in that you got 11 followers in 2 days, you can be that way. Multitasking. It's my weakness. Right. So let's go down here to on overview clicked. After we do all of the appropriate showing and hiding of menus, I'm also going to go ahead and say overview button dot colors is equal to active colors. Let's go ahead and paste this. So instead of overview button, we're going to say info button, and then verb button is equal to inactive colors. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's default colors, right? Default colors. Paste that in here. All right. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for on info clicked. Active colors here, then default colors there. One more for on verbs clicked. All right. So if we let that play, and we hit apply to all of that, obviously, then now our tabs or our buttons at the top will actually function more like tabs, in the sense that they will stay highlighted, I believe is correct, whenever you click on them. So it's a lot easier to tell where you are in the menu. How long have I been working on my game? So I have been working on this game for about 4 years now. And about 2 years ago, I scrapped everything that I had and started reworking it from the ground up, art-wise. But let me see. I think I can do this. Haha! I never use this bot enough. Ha! So that's a little bit of a quick overview of the game itself. Go ahead and apply here. Maps, and let's take a look at it in game. So I'm about 60% done after 4 years, 2 years of which was scrapped. And I'm hoping to finish up the second third of the game by the end of this year, so I can move on to the last third and be finished up within a year and a half, ideally. So it's been a while. I will be the first to admit that it has taken me a long time. But I'm also the only person doing it, and I have a full-time job on top of this. And I started it when I was in college, so it was full-time job plus college plus this for about the first 2 years, actually. Let's go to the map. Room, interactions, and I keep piling things on because I am a crazy person. Oh, that's not great. Ugh. Why is it just white? That does not seem correct. Oh, I bet I know what it is. I bet I forgot to change the color multiplier. 10 to 1 says that's it. 10 to 1. Ha! Knew it. Color multiplier. So if I change that to 1 and 0.2. Yep. Knew it! Knew it! So yeah, you can see that it's going to stay highlighted now whenever we click on things. Makes it a lot easier to tell what menu you're in. And of course, the highlight is different from the actual base color, so you can still tell that you're hovering over things. So cool. We have that working now. So now comes the more challenging part, which is once an object has been created, we need to store it somewhere centralized so that we can retrieve it, and then add it as we see fit. Go ahead and stop playing. Damn, been working on my hacking game for like a month, and I like the looks of my game already. Well, that's good. Although if you're gonna do something like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, that's a pretty tall order. Uh, how is it? Just you working on it? All right. So let's also get rid of some white space in here. Don't need all that. Hit save, and let's see. CG interaction view. Yes. And this should have a list of target objects. Correct. So, let's see. Clicked on verbs. Clicked. Where? What the heck? No, hold on. This isn't right. Yeah, that's not right. Okay. Let's see. Find all references. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Generate interactions. Let's go ahead and go to definition here. And this is where it kind of gets awkward. We're going to need to pull up our custom game session. Oh, that's not good enough. We actually need our custom game author session. Because I have to have super long names for my classes, of course. So yeah, that's gonna be tough to make a large multiplayer game like that by yourself. Not trying to dissuade you or anything like that, but that'll be interesting to see. I've tried to steer away from multiplayer just because that's a nightmare compared to single player, just because of all the networking that you have to do to make it all function properly. And then of course you have to handle lag and latency and all sorts of things like that. People get mad if you don't. So. Oh, it was just meant for my friends. Well, that's fair. Yeah. Well, I guess in those cases, though, you could play, what is it, Fortnite, since it's free now for a PlayerUnknown's Battleground type game. What are you making the game in? All right, so we want to go to custom game author session, and do I have a add interaction? No, hold on. Let's go to interaction menu on add new interaction. There it is. So add new interaction. Go to definition here. We generate an interaction ID. Again, I kind of feel like I should probably have that start at 10 instead of 0, just in case I want to reserve special interactions, like the player. Let's go ahead and close that again. So that just generates an ID, and it doesn't even add it, actually. It just returns it. So that's good. And then we go to interactions.add, which is a dictionary. All right, that's fair. Oh boy, though, this is gonna get nuts. Because we're getting ready to serialize a bunch of information out to JSON. Oh, sorry. Was really I'm assuming that was asking about Fortnite having a free PlayerUnknown Battleground thing. Yeah, it's a thing now. So Epic's new engine tech demo, Fortnite, has a free PlayerUnknown's Battle Royale style thing that you can do. Let's see. So just a question. Do I have a Discord server? I do not. I wonder if I should get one, actually. That would probably be pretty smart. Then that would be another thing that I have to manage. I have not done a great job of managing my community, admittedly. Lessons from game dev. You need to get on top of that stuff. It's been very difficult for me though, just because of the aforementioned full-time job. That means that I can't do stuff in the middle of the day, which makes community management a bit of an issue because I can't really do stuff until night. Do it because people can interact with you easier. Yeah, that's true. I suppose it wouldn't hurt anyway, because I think Discord servers are free. At the very least, signing up for Discord is. So probably wouldn't hurt to do it. It's just another facet of things that I have to keep track of, though. It's one of those things where it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just that if I do it, that takes a lot of time and energy that's already fragmented across 7 different areas, and it makes it even harder for me to do stuff on time. But it is something that needs to happen eventually. In any case, I keep going back and forth, which is my thing when I'm not actually doing anything. So custom game author session. When we save, we need to load. Well, not load. We need to save out all of that stuff. So let's go to JSON. Oh, and actually, you know what? Before we do that, is interactions up here? Room connections. No. Let's go back down here. Go to JSON. Go to definition. Custom game author session. All right. Room info.count. So I think interactions are being saved per room, but they're not actually being loaded or saved anywhere specific, so the interaction data just gets lost. So let's see here. I guess we're going to say JSON array interactions JSON, the new JSON array. I think that's correct, but just to be sure, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 JSON here. Variables, vars. Yeah, okay. We're going to go back up here. I'm hoping that this will work. I'll be a little disconcerted if it does not. Let's see. Interactions. Okay, so it's in custom game session, which means that it probably should stay there. Let's go ahead and move that then. Back down here. Let's see. JSON array. Paste that in there. Sorry, didn't mean to ignore chat. Discord has one main feature for me, announcing when I go live. No, that would be nice. Also, I'm stuck with with my hacking game. I do need help with it from someone. Yeah, are you well, I mean, I would assume you're a programmer, somewhat by trade, if you're the only one working on it. What are you stuck on? All right, so I need to save interactions out. These are all the variables. Here's the game data. Data JSON. Okay. So now we're going to add interactions. And we're going to say, we'll move that back down here then. Let's move this back to here. Is that there? All right, so we're going to say for int I. Oh, crap, I can't do that. I have to do a for each. Yeah, gross. For each int I in interactions. All right, so we're going to have to say interactions JSON.add. So this is going to be fun. We need to say interactions of I. Oh, that won't work. Wow, this is going to suck so hard. All right. So I need to say int index is equal to I. Then we're going to have to say, wait, what are you complaining about? Oh, right. Sorry, dot keys. All right, so I need to say JSON object, interaction JSON is equal to new JSON object interaction JSON dot add. We'll give it an empty string for now, and that's going to be index for its value. That's going to be the special identification number, the unique integer that's used to identify this interaction. And let's go ahead and go over here. Go to definition. Game contents, variables, author variables, rooms, connection, interactions. Here we are. So I want you int ID. Okay, yeah. It's just going to be difficult. There we go. Definition. Let's drag that back over here. Int name. I don't think we really care about the name. Right? Surely we don't. I mean, we must, otherwise I wouldn't have this here. No references. Let's see. I do everything alone, so yeah. I'm stuck at some of the programming parts. Hard to explain though. Index is not needed. It's just the same thing. So that's actually a weird catch thing. The way Unity handles for loops, if I don't set this to be a unique index called, or a unique int called index, then what actually happens is I doesn't really go through until the for each loop is complete. And then that means that I will be the same on all objects. So this is a way to force index to be the correct value when it's evaluated. That's why I have to do it this way. It's a weird thing with Unity. Although they might have fixed it since then. But this is how you used to have to do it, and I'm pretty sure it's still how you have to do it. So yeah, it's a weird thing. It's particularly notable in delegates. So yeah, that's how you get around that. It's a weird thing, and that's also why I don't like doing for each loops, because for each loops are where that happens most often. But this forces it to be correct. Also, you're currently the one I watch the most. Hooray! Well, I mean, despite the fact that I don't have a lot of people who watch regularly, I do think that I at least do something somewhat entertainingly, or at least informatively. In any case, so we have the index, and I almost forgot I want to see where this is used. Find all references. It's not name. Interaction data. Do I need that? Yes. Well, we'll leave it as is anyway. All right. So next we have to call something a little bit more crazy. Which is going to be public const string int info, I guess. Info. All right, so we're going to say interaction JSON.add custom content utility dot int underscore info. Then we'll just call interactions of index dot to JSON. Okay, so that should add all of that to a special JSON object, and then with that we're going to go ahead and say interactions JSON dot add interaction JSON. All right, and finally at the end here we're going to say JSON dot add custom content utility dot section. We'll say variables for now, but we're going to change that. Interactions JSON. All right, let's go ahead and go up here. Go to definition. Well, you have 103 followers, so I would expect you to get a lot more viewers. Yeah, that is true. It's just one of those things, though. It takes a lot of time and effort to appropriately manage community stuff, and it's very difficult to do that for me because of time constraints and energy constraints. But it is probably something that I should just do. Just bite the bullet on it. Section, let's see, interactions. So interactions. All right, let's go ahead and go back to game session. Paste that in there. All right, so now when we will that work actually? Yes. All right, so this is going to be interesting. Also, actually, before I do anything else, let's go ahead and go to custom room interaction menu on. Wait, hold on. Is that? Yeah, I think that's correct. Let's see, generate interactions. Oh, no. Here it is, generate interactions. So on generate interactions, I think I want to save. Yes. So author session.save custom game. Pretty sure that's what I want to do. Just to be certain, though. This is our 2JSON final references. Yep, save custom game. Cool. So let's let that compile. And what should happen now is when we make a object and edit it, do whatever we need, it should save out, and it should have a massive blob of JSON that is correct. And we should be able to see that inside zork.ctba. Well, Discord is easy, and really easy when you have someone in your chat who handles like 30 servers. Yeah, that's true. Then I have to, try to get people to either moderate it for free or pay them, and I have no money. So again, that factors into one of those things where it's hard to do because I like to micromanage everything, but also I recognize that there are only 24 hours in a day. A lot of them I have to spend on working, like work that pays money. Otherwise, I would die of exposure on the streets, and that's not a good thing. That means the game won't get finished. Extras, author mode, create, Zork. Let's see. Discord moderators are free. Yeah, I guess that wouldn't be too bad. I just feel really guilty asking people to work for free. In any case, let's go ahead and add an interaction. Dang it, I forgot to reset that again, but that's fine for now. Let's go ahead and just edit our things. So we'll say test object. It won't be item. It'll just be called test object. And let's give it a custom description. So we'll say, does this look correct? Enter there. All right, let's go ahead and close. Let's close again, and let's stop playing. Okay, so all of this should be saved and reloaded. So now I should have something called interactions. And there it is. Ha! Nice. It is a massive blob of JSON, but that is what I was expecting. And it has an ID of 10. That's good. That's what I was hoping for. If you want, I can make a Discord server for you. You can just watch. Nah, I probably would actually need to sit down and plan what I want the structure for the Discord server to be. Because I know eventually it's going to be really useful for things like audience interactions. Well, not audience interactions. Interactions with the community itself. And of course, beta testing. That will be pretty nice to have a Discord server for that. Let's go ahead and scroll all the way down here. So we have to go through all of the verbs. So that's cool. So it's saving out. Let's see. It had an ID of 10. Let's see if our room had an ID of 10 for its interactions. Settings. Interactions of 0. That's a little troubling. I don't quite know why it thinks that that's correct. So I'm going to go to custom room interaction menu. Let's see. Interaction. Interactions, not add. Okay, so it shouldn't be possible for it to be 0? Oh, that's the start room. Okay. But yeah, there we go. So it just has one. Also BRB. All right. Well, I'll be here. Let's see. So next, before we start playing again, I actually want to load or set up the loading behavior, and that's going to be interesting. So let's go back here to custom game JSON or to custom game session. We're going to set up interaction data. All right. Paste this in here. This is going to be key. Wait, no, it's section, right? Yeah, section interactables. Oh, okay, yeah. Did that wrong, almost. We just want JSON. Oh, rooms JSON, interactions JSON. There we go. All right. So we're going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than interactions JSON dot length I plus plus. So we're going to loop through this set of interactions JSON, which also already exists. What? What do you mean it's already defined in this scope? What is going on here? This is super weird. Why is that under data? I didn't put it under data. Also, just to make sure that I know where that is, it's under game data. Let's look for game data here. Game data. Not date. Data. So that has rooms. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, yeah. So I saved that out wrong, which sucks because that means that it's going to not load in appropriately. But that's fair. I worked that up. That's me. That was me. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Interactions JSON, key interactions. Are we using you anywhere? We have a load interactions. Go to definition. Huh. Interesting. So that's wow. Okay, hold on. God, that's super awkward. Okay, yeah, I think I know what I did here. That's really strange. Let's see where data JSON is being added to. Keys, rooms. All right. I suppose that means that I actually want to do this. Move this down here. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. Paste it. So it's going to be interactions. Oh, sorry. Can I turn my mic up? Is it not coming through? Also, did I spell it wrong? Yeah, it does. It does do a kind of annoying noise cancellation stuff. So if I stop talking, really, it takes like just slightly too long for it to start picking my voice up again, and you can see that it sort of sounds like it's coming in about halfway through the first sound that I make. It's kind of weird. In case key interactions. You know what? I'll get you some viewers. Well, thank you. I have no idea what black magic you'll be doing, but it is appreciated either way. Let's see here. So we want to get rid of interactions here, which actually means that we need to go back up here and get rid of this because that's pointless now. And that also means that when we come up here, we're going to need to go to from JSON. Wait, what? All right, where on earth is load interactions being called from? Hold on, let me see this. Oh, wait, what? Oh, I was gonna say, what's going on here? It's because I was looking at the wrong thing. All right, so we need to go to key interactions, blah, 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 blah. So that's being done up here. All right, which means that we can actually go ahead and clear this. Let's go to load interactions, go to definition. We clear out our interactions. Basic interactions JSON. Interactions JSON.get object. Ah, man, it's saved out in a clunky way because of course it is. I don't think it makes sense really to segment it into objects and items. I think it makes more sense to kind of block it all together, and any special information will be contained in the object itself. Let's see here. Interactive object. Yep, this is kind of odd. I doing here? Yeah, this is... I'm sure it made somewhat sense. Something of a sensible decision when I was making it at the time, but this is really odd. Just so you know, don't ask me stuff about what you're doing, since I don't know anything about saving. I do want to know, but that's very difficult for me. Yeah, it's... So... You know what JSON is? JavaScript Object Notation. It's basically a very common data format. And what I do is whenever I save stuff, I just write a text file that has a bunch of JSON in it. So we're doing, that's why you keep hearing me say like JSON stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm basically saving it out to a JSON blob, which is what you can see here. And then I have to read all of that back in when I load the custom text-based adventure, so that I can set up, oh crap, I didn't mean to let it compile. It's going to have errors. So basically it lets me save out a lot of information fairly easily. And I wrote a whole JSON parser to let me store all this stuff as JSON and let me read it back in easily. So yeah, we're going to change this a little bit. I don't know why I was doing names.toInt. That's so friggin' weird. So instead, we're going to go ahead and comment this out for now. And we're just going to go ahead and say, all right, so the interactions JSON, let's find all references. Let's go here. This is not going to be a get object, it's going to be a get array. It's going to be a new JSON array. It's going to be a JSON array here. All right. And let's go ahead and go back here, go to definition, JSON array. All right, so we're going to say for int I equals 0. If I could spell I equals 0, which apparently I can't, I is less than interactions JSON.length, then I plus. But I don't really, but I don't want a really long JSON file because I have a 3D map which I need to save. No, that's true. JSON has its limitations, but then again. So if we look at this file here, will it tell me how large it is? It will when I look at it here. So this entire Zork file is 15 kilobytes, and that's with 870 lines of text. It's only 15 kilobytes. Because, straight text files are super tiny. Although I have brought up that I'm a little worried that custom text-based adventures, if people make really complex text-based adventures, they could get to be like a megabyte, which is, pretty big for a text file. But that'll be interesting, honestly. I'm actually curious to see how large some of these files get, just because it's going to have. The problem is that it's not just storing game information like room information, information about the game itself, like description, developer, all that stuff. It's also going to have things for variables, and then things for interactions, and that's going to be the largest thing, because you can see here this massive JSON blob for interactions and their verbs. And it's not really going to get any smaller, so it's just going to keep getting larger and larger. In any case, also I would actually like if you told me what you think about my game. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Um, Admittedly, I will say whatever my opinions are, you should. Okay, yeah, yeah. I'll try to catch one of your streams. When's the next time you're thinking of streaming? So let's see, interactions, JSON.length. Okay, so now we need to loop through this, and we're going to say JSON object interaction JSON is equal to interactions JSON.get object at index of I. All right, so that'll give us our JSON blob, and then we are going to say, we're kind of going to copy this. So we are going to request an interactive object from our pool. Then we are going to do from JSON, and we're going to say just interaction get object custom content utility dot int underscore info, and then we're going to go ahead and copy this, paste this in, except this is going to be get int value, and int underscore ID. All right, so we should be able to save and load now. When we start playing again, it's not going to do it right away because the information was saved in the incorrect spot. But now we should have a more appropriate place for it. But before I do anything else, let's see, game data rooms. So there's nothing else in game data right now, but that's going to change once we start adding interactions. You know what? No, I'm going to keep interactions as a separate object. It just makes way more sense for it to be its own thing because it's going to be massive. It's a really, really big chunk of information. Tomorrow, if you want, I can give you my Discord server. There it will be announced. Yeah, go ahead and pop the Discord server in the chat. That way I can more easily try to get an alert for it. Or I guess I can just go to your channel after this and make sure that I get notifications. All right, so I'm going to change that real quick. So we're going to go back here. Go to load interactions, find all references. So we're going to change this to JSON.getArray. And then, again, JSON, not DSON. Wow, JSON. There we go. Okay, let's move this all back. And I will also go ahead and move this to the bottom here. Paste this in. And that. All right. That should work. All right, which means that actually when we go back in, it should still have all of our information, and it should try to load it all. Oh, but goodness, this is going to be a bit weird, isn't it? All right. So continuing in our wonderful tradition of custom game content, we can't really test the full extent of this, not right now, but we should be able to try and at least get the information showing up in rooms again. So author mode, create, Zork, shite. There it is. We already have an error. That's just great. Let's see here. Interactive object dot get name. Interactive object 89. It's going to go all the way up here. 89. Oh, right. Object names might be empty. Was that correct? Oh, and it's going to refresh, so this will be interesting. Oh, it didn't have any names saved. That is interesting. Okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah, if we don't have a name, or if we don't have any names set, then we probably need to crap, do something. That's a little odd, though. It actually should have totally had a name. That makes me think that interactive object does not have a good toJSON. So let's see here. Verb info. Wow, it has almost no information. It's because I'm not doing anything with it. Well, there we go. That would be why. Okay. Then I guess I need to do this. Your test tempo? No, that's not me. In Discord. I should be Synthoid, I believe. If it's not my real name. I do not recall. Let's see here. And that would be my cat wanting attention. So we're going to have to, I guess, add some things here. So we're going to say info name array dot add. Can I add an IEnumerator? No, I can't. I totally should be able to, though. So let's go to our JSON array first. Like I said, we're going to be kind of jumping all over the place today. Let's see, raw string values, raw int values, raw float values, raw float array. So I have a list of JSON values, but a list of int values. Can I, and I lost my spot, here we are. Can I not do a list of string values? Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, so I can just do that here. I would say object name. That is clearly not correct. Hold on, let's go all the way back up here. Names, that's what it is. Names. Cool. This will be plural. Okay. Names. Well, there's only test tempo. Challenger approaching. Alright, I guess I can try to open this up fully. I think the problem was that I didn't open up my Discord app. So now it's in there. So we'll let that open up. That's probably not great. All right. I'm a little worried that actually broke my speaking guy again. It did. All right. Got to reboot my streaming guy. So let me close some of this stuff. Sorry, my avatar busted. Because I'm guessing Discord tried to steal the mic. That's such an interesting crash. So I wrote this little avatar guy in Unity, and I think whenever something tries to take priority on the mic, it breaks him. So I have to basically relaunch it whenever that happens. Yeah, the little avatar guy at the bottom right, he reacts to my voice. So if I stop talking, then he stops talking. And then if I start talking, he starts talking and gesticulating and all that. And I'm slowly adding new features and stuff to him over time, because I want him to eventually be able to just walk around and do whatever. In any case, so this is going to be adjectives. All right, so all of that should help. go ahead and I'm going to fudge the names here. All right. Oh, maybe test tempo is like a temporary thing? That's weird. I wonder why it didn't use me. Here, let me try something real quick. I'm gonna try launching Discord again. Make sure that I mean, I should be signed in. It's odd that it didn't work. Try clicking on that again. Okay. I think that worked. All right, so it should have been, yeah, there it is. That's me. And now, out of curiosity, okay, so I guess it only breaks my app whenever it opens for the first time. Super weird. Whatever. Let's go ahead and jump back here. Yeah. I do need to do a much better job of interacting with other communities online, trying to get word out about the game. I'm just so bad at it. All right, so now we should be able to start playing and see what happens. Hopefully that minor edit that we made will take hold and it will be all sunshine and roses. I doubt it. Extras, author mode, create. Dang it! All right, so let's see. From JSON 673. 673. 6666673. Here we are. Really? That's interesting. Huh. Well, I mean, that doesn't make sense. I obviously have names. I have a name there. Info names. Names. Also, wait, how in the world can that be a null? How can that be an index out of range exception? There has to be something else going on there. CS 40 or 419. Go to definition. 419. Get string at index. Dot value. Okay. Oh, I know why. Because I was stupid and I didn't put quotation marks around this, so it thinks that it's not a string. There we go. That should fix that problem. So now it should actually come in correctly. All right, so let's try it again. Rip. I don't know. I fixed the issue. Maybe. We'll find out in like 5 seconds. Ha-ha! Okay, now moment of truth. Oh, sorry. Moment of truth. Yes! Okay. So test object is loading in. It loads in. So we can actually, well, we can't actually do anything with it. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, right. I need to do the same sort of highlighting tab logic here that I do on the interactions view. But you can see that it does load in, which is good. So a couple of things then. One, let's go ahead and stop this. And two, I'm going to go ahead and go to custom room interaction menu. except I'm not even going to do that. I need to just go to straight up custom game room. Let's see, custom game author. So many things. Interaction info menu, I'm not too worried about it anymore. Let's go ahead and close our verb. I don't think we need it. Or these. I'm pretty sure. Get rid of some of this. Sorry, I'm trying to organize my coding space. Let's go ahead and get rid of you. All right. Don't need you either. So first things first, let's go to custom. I think it's just custom room view. Yes, custom room view. We're going to do the same color information that we did before. So we're going to go ahead and say, right about here, public color block, active colors, new block. All right, let's go ahead and make that a drop down up here, and this is going to be default. All right, so now that should show up in our custom room view. Good job. Also something else to add extensions to your stream. Yeah, the extension stuff was still fairly new, so I haven't had time to look at them, because I think that's only been a thing for about a week or two, right? Maybe 3 weeks. In the past week and a half, so not this week. This week was the first week back from about a week and a half of conventions and travel. So I was just not able to do anything for a while. But I think that was announced while I was traveling. So I just haven't had a good time, or I haven't had time to really sit down and look at it. Okay, so let's clear this custom room view. Let's go ahead and go back over here. We have our colors. All right. So I'm guessing this is going to be this. Let's go ahead and go to our room info button. Again, we're just going to copy all of our wonderful things here. Copy this. Paste that. And you know what? Before I forget, because I know I will, make sure that I set the fade duration on, I think it's interactions. Correct? Yes. There we go. 1 and 0.2. Ta-da! Hooray! Let's see. Hey, what? Too much info in 10 seconds? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Like, So this week was me getting back on schedule after a week and a half of traveling to conventions and out of state and a bunch of stuff for both work and my game. Mixture of both for the most part. So I went over to Columbus, Ohio for a while. That was for GDEX. That was not this past weekend, but the weekend before that. And then the following week, which was last week, I was in Austin, Texas for Unite, which is Unity's big game engine convention. And then the Friday that we got back, the company that I work at had a art gallery thing that we had to set up and watch for 5 hours on Friday night. Jeez. And then I was just kind of blown away for that weekend because I was, recuperating. So it was a very, very hectic week. It was a week solid of convention stuff, and then there's about a half a week of padding around that for polishing up builds and all of that. So, it's just been crazy. It's been crazy getting back on track after all that. No, I still live with my parents. Yeah, I do not anymore. So that's hence why I have that job that I have to do full time because of my crippling addiction to food and shelter. So, all right, for active colors, I think we're just going to steal the same colors as this. Let's go ahead and take this. Copy here. Let's go back down here. paste this in. Cool. Let's go ahead and go to custom room view. All right. Let's see. On info audio. All right. So we're going to say info button dot colors is equal to active colors. Copy this. Audio interactions. Audio button. Interactions button. And then logic button. Colors is equal to default colors. Let's go ahead and just paste that in here. Cool. So that's those four. Now I can paste this in after all audio clicked as well. Do the same thing, basically. All right. Let's copy that again. Copy, paste. Just a lot of copying and pasting to make this work. All right, so now let that compile. We should get some nice tab colors going on. And after that, we're going to try to see if we can open up and edit existing interactions. That would be nice. Well, I'm only 14. All right, well then that's fair. I am 10 years your senior, so yeah, that makes sense. Gonna become 15, 5th of November. Hey, November birthday! I'm gonna be 26 on the 4th of November. So there you go. November birthday fist pump. All right. So let's go ahead and save this and test this out. Although really all we're testing out here is the tab features. Let's go ahead and click through. Start, extras, author mode, create, Zork. Let's go to our map. Go to room 2. Interactions. There's our test object. And again, you can see, oh right. So you can see the tab stuff all working. Although we actually do need to be careful. It looks like I don't have these set up to not be, how to phrase this, to not be navigable. It's a weird thing in Unity. I basically need to make these buttons or adjust these buttons slightly. But now you can see that we do have tab logic working a little bit easier, so you can tell which tab you're in. All right. So next thing is when I click on this test object, I want to be able to edit it. That would be nice. Although I wonder if I should have an edit button, or if I should. Nah, we'll just make it if you click on this, it'll open it up for editing. Or maybe instead of that, well, no. Let's say it could have like a context-sensitive modal or something like that. So when you click on it, it's like, what would you like to do? Edit or remove? But honestly, I should just have a delete button here, or remove button. So that's probably good. All right. Gotta turn down the volume since my younger brother wants to sleep. It's 10 o'clock, almost 11. Yeah, well, it's, let's see, so I'm on Eastern time in the US. It's only about 4:50 here, so you're a fair bit later than I am right now. So let's see here. So we want clicking to work, and we also need to turn these to not be navigable, and we need a remove button as well. Not too worried about the remove button for now. Instead, I would like to get clicking working. Be a lot more predictable. Universal time +1. Yep. Those European time zones, man. Guys are way ahead of us. It's super weird being, I guess, one of the last time zones. So everyone is ahead of us, basically. I mean, I'm the farthest east in the U.S. time zones, and I'm still only a couple of hours ahead of a few people. Most of the world is ahead of me for time. Let's see. So let's go to custom room interaction menu. When we generate these buttons, am I appending I have a new button on click, on interaction click. Oh, but I'm not doing anything with it. Can I do that now? So is that really all I had to do? Will it work now? That would be super convenient. All right, let that compile. Well, the only thing I hate with live streams is the delay. Yeah, I think you have tools to mitigate that delay. I think the typical delay is 15 seconds or something like that, maybe a little bit longer, or maybe a little bit shorter depending on your setup. And then I think Twitch has some things that it can do on top of that, but I do not have access to those because I am not important enough. Which I'm totally cool with, although I mostly find it infuriating because I have to stream at whatever quality I want people to be able to view at. But I can't just stream at 1080p and then have people downsample if they don't have a good internet connection. I actually have to stream it at 720p now because I've had problems with people not being able to downsample, which sucks. Because if I stream at 1080p, which would be my preferred streaming resolution, then some people can't watch me because their internet connection at the time is just terrible and doesn't handle 1080p streaming very well. But I would prefer more people see it, even if I have to broadcast at a lower resolution. Kind of sucks, but not a huge issue. More of a personal thing, honestly. In any case, so that's that. We want to go back here to custom game. Audio button. So this is what I was talking about, navigation. We want to change that to none from automatic. It's something that Unity does. It's helpful for console-based things. It basically lets you control the flow of buttons and direction placements. So if you tap up, it'll go to the button that you expect it to go to. But I don't need any of that because this is not, a controller cannot be used with this. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's see, delete button. Okay, I think that's everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and save, and if all goes according to plan, I should actually be able to navigate to the object, click on it, then interact, or then edit it if I need to. So that would be pretty convenient, actually. How long have I been streaming? I have been streaming about 2 years now, actually. I started streaming, I think, 2015, the summer of that year, is what I want to say, somewhere around there. Maybe it was 2014. Oh man, 3 years now almost. A while. I've been streaming a while. Yeah, that's the live stream. That's this live stream. I have, I still can't remember all of my own things, but I think so. I have a YouTube channel with all the archive stuff, and it goes back quite a ways. I have a lot of video footage of this game's development. A lot of footage of me being stupid. Okay, so let's go to interactions, and yes! Yes! Ha ha ha! Cool. So that is super sweet. Oh, like the actual current stream. I start Saturday dev streams at about 3 p.m. Eastern time in the U.S. So it's been about 2 hours. Sorry, yeah, like this actual current stream is only about 2 hours. And Saturday dev streams typically go 2 to 3 hours. I try to get people their streaming money's worth when I do dev stuff. Okay, so let's go back over here. There we go. So now it's not staying clicked on or staying lit as this like slightly off green color. It's the actual green color that indicates that it's a tab. Oh, that's also the wrong menu. I meant that here. Same thing though. Oh man, one of these days I gotta get back to the audio menu stuff too. But for now, test objects can be edited. Let's go ahead and edit its name to test object 2 or 3. Okay, that works too. Go ahead and close. Let's go ahead and close. Excuse me, got the hiccups. And let's stop playing. Go to our Zork file. All right, so interactions still have 10. Well, as the ID that's being interacted with. Test object 3. Yes, it's all working. That is super. Oh, that's super great. Actually, hold on. When I might be done streaming, I'll host your stream. Also, I have to go. I'll speak to you tomorrow again in the Discord, maybe. All right. Well, nice talking with you, Moviecraft. Or Movecraft, not Moviecraft. Movecraft. Good luck on. Are you doing another stream right now? Either way, good luck on your streams. But yeah, I will talk to you later. All right. So. Oh, just tomorrow. All right. Okay. So that's exciting. That actually might be a good place for us to end today anyway. So, yep, I will see you later. Thanks for stopping by. So we have actual interactions working, and we have them saving out, and we have them loading in. Ooh, this is not great. I don't know what's going on here. That's kind of strange to me. That really has me worried, actually. That makes me think that it's not saving out correctly. But that could just be a oddity with my interactive object itself. It's entirely likely that it's just not doing to.json correctly there. So if we look at verb info, well, no, that should be correct. Does that mean that it's just not parsing incorrectly? No, that makes even less sense. Well, great. I'll have to look into that then. But at the very least, objects are saving out. They're being stored in a sensible location. They can be read in as needed, and we have the menus for them almost set up all the way in the way that I would like. So we do have to still handle things like removing. Let's go ahead and play to show you what I'm talking about as I talk about it. So we do still need to add the ability to remove objects from a room after they've been placed there, which won't be too bad, I don't think. It's just going to be a lot of UI. Let's go to create Zork. We still got to get over that lag spike, though. I don't really know how to get around that. So we can show interactions. We can edit them. If we look at them, we'll see all this. There's nothing in the verbs right now. Let's go ahead and rename this to just test object. And all of this does save out, which is good. If we clear, we just show it up. Cool. And yeah, and the other thing is that rooms will actually now load their interactions as expected. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to stop for the day. The thing that really sucks is that I don't really have a good screenshot name, or a good screenshot for these, because I haven't done too much on the side here. I'm gonna have to do some fun Photoshop stuff too. Not like faking Photoshop, not like photoshopping screenshots, but I'm going to have to take a. Let's see. You want to reload it? Yes. So I'm going to have to take a screenshot of my zork.ctba file and then put that up. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, all right, let's get some screenshots in here. So test object, go ahead and add this. I'm go ahead and call this a red object. A test, or how about a red test object? Res text object. All right, a red test object. Does this look correct? Let's go ahead and get some screenshots. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Let's take a screenshot and all right. Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop for the day. For next week, well, I mean, we'll actually pick it back up on Saturday, but I'm hoping next week we'll be able to actually get the verb stuff started. I don't know how well that will go. Although I did just think of a interface that would make it totally work a lot easier. Having a drop down for the verb type. Duh, that makes it a lot easier to edit information about the verb. And also, I'm probably not going to shy away from having a scroll bar on the verb. I wanted to avoid that for test object, as this all could be displayed in one page, but I think verbs, there's just too much information. So, in any case, yeah, that's exciting. So, let's go ahead and yeah, that'll be it. Sorry, I was thinking if I had any other announcements. Tomorrow we're going to try and do our weekly recap / forecast episode. It'll be the first time we do that format. I'm still trying to think about how I'm going to structure that, but we will see it tomorrow. So I'm going to recap what I've done this week, any special announcements from the week, and then what my plan is going to be for the next week. I'm going to try to do this as a way to keep me on track and help you guys know what I'm doing currently and what I have failed to do if I was supposed to do something. So, but yeah, that's a pretty good place to stop for the night. Or for the day. So as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.